Tequila Seltzer, the #1 hard seltzer in the world and the official hard seltzer of Day Drinking with Dog. Ditch them all, add tequila.
Welcome back to Day Drinking with Dog. It is a beautiful Friday, the end of June. July is fast approaching, July 4th next week. And this isn't like one of those emergency press conference kind of shows. We actually had it planned, thinking we'd be talking about the debate, not knowing it would have gone down quite like it did last night. But my guest today, I don't know how many times you've been on the show, and I've been on yours, but Chris Mercurio from the Drive Home podcast. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on?
Oh, man. What a night. I think it was over in the first 3 minutes.
It was cringeworthy. Minute one.
I mean, I was watching it with Nicole and Braden, and Nicole's just like, I'm going to bed. And Braden stayed up the whole time with me, and it was just, it's funny, like getting a 14-year-old's perspective on a man literally dying before our eyes. Let's not take too much time on this. What were your initial reactions like when it first started, it was over, but like after everything was said and done, what were your initial reactions?
All right, so I got to start with minute one. Liz and I turned it on, and we both were like, "Oh my god!" We're like, "How did they even let this guy go out there?" I can't believe they even agreed to a debate. By the way, I mean, I can't. But then it was just like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, my first thought was, do they have a backup plan?
Right.
I mean, do they? They need one. Like, they can't let him go out there.
No. So
they can't.
Right. So I think you and I and most of America, whether you're liberal or conservative, had the same reaction within the first, I don't know, not even 3 minutes. I think that's too long. But really, when he had that brain fart about COVID, Medicaid, and all that shit, he like froze on stage. I think we were all rooting.
I just was like
my thing.
I was like, his thoughts. I'm just like, he's and he progressively got worse as it went on.
Well, I think he started really bad, and then he kind of like maybe got it together, but then like just his blank stares as Trump was talking, just I really like listened to Trump, but I watched Joe. You know what I mean? Like I watched his mannerisms and his basic, I don't even know what you call it, frozenness. But this is again, we don't want to spend too much time on this. We all saw it, we all watched it, we all read about it, whatever. So I equate it to, and I had this thought this morning. I'm like, because my emotions were right off the rip, oh my God, throw in the towel, this is over. Yep. To, I really got to, I posted on Facebook, I really want to watch CNN. I want to see how they spin this. And then the debate ends, I go right to CNN, and the first guy talking is like, the Dems are like, they don't know what to do. Like, this is a disaster. And I'm like rooting. I'm like, wow. They fucking really? CNN is saying this? They're not in spin control right now? Holy shit. And then I got to about
how could you be?
Right. But then it got to the third person. I think it was Van Jones or whatever his name is, the black guy. And he's like, I've known Joe forever, but he can't do this anymore. It was like he was like fake crying. And then it just dawned on me. I was like, fuck. This was all planned. This is what they wanted, because the left has been hiding his dementia. They don't really show his... You go to Fox, you'll find it. You go to Newsmax, you'll find it. He's been like this for a long time, and they all reacted like they didn't see this coming, which to me means they're planning his ouster. So it's like rooting for... It's like people that were rooting for the Patriots to lose last year, and then when they realized we got Drake May, like a Jet fan, like, oh, they beat us the final game of the year. I'm like, yeah, we finally beat Bill. And then they sit back, and I'm like, oh, wait, but we just got him a really good quarterback potentially. Like, oh, shit. So, like, here I am rooting for Trump and all that shit, and then we go to CNN, and I'm like, oh, my God. And then I'm like, it just dawned on me. I'm like, fuck. This is what they wanted all along. That's my thought. I'm not saying that's the truth, but he may. I hope he stays for president. I hope they don't oust him.
I have one thought that might only be for older sports fans. You know what it looked like? Muhammad Ali when he was at the end of his career.
He was
And he
sad.
just couldn't do anything.
Right.
He was just he was just taking
I heard
punches.
Babe Ruth was
you know
like
what
that
I mean?
too. Yeah.
And Willie Mays when he played for the Mets.
Mets, yeah.
It was just it's over. Just let it be over. But also you're watching this. First of all, let's just talk line of the night. After one of his answers, Trump goes, I have no idea what he just said. I don't think he knows,
He knows what he just said. Yep.
That was like a home run. But I think honestly, and to your point, you listened to who was commenting afterwards.
Right.
I think the worst comment I read this morning was Joy Reid, MSNBC.
Oh, she's
that lady.
Yeah.
Do you know what she said?
No.
She said the strategists were wrong because they put him on the left side of the stage, so he wasn't facing Trump after every answer. If they had put him on the right side of the stage, he would have looked better because every time he looked to his left, he would have been looking at Trump.
That was probably a coin flip, no?
I don't know what that means.
So basically, if you watch a radio show, like Felger and Maz, it's all, whenever you watch a show, it's the person that you're looking at that's on the left is the dominant person, regardless of if they're better or not. I watched Mike and the Mad Dog for years, and Mike was always on the left, and Russo was always on the right. And that's just being on the left in front of a TV is always the dominant position. So I'm assuming that was a coin flip, just like the final remarks were a coin flip. And boy, did Biden got crushed in those final remarks too. That was just the nail in the coffin.
It was just cringeworthy. The whole thing.
It was.
The whole time.
And I'm not praising Trump for his fucking performance either.
No.
He could. They started battling about golf and shit. It's come on.
No. But the whole time, you're just watching Biden and you're actually feeling bad for him because of what, he shouldn't have been out there. And then, did you see the funny part where he claimed the Border Patrol endorsed him?
Yeah, and then they went right. Yeah, they fucking tweeted right away.
A minute later, we do
never have and never will. That was the union. That was the union. That wasn't really the.
It was, but
it's funny though.
I don't know. Just gut instinct right now. Gun to your head. Is he staying in the race?
Gun to my head, no. This was the first step in overthrowing him. But another quick point is, they all scream that he can't run again last night. This is the liberals screaming. The liberals are screaming this, not the fucking conservatives. Okay, well, he's still going to be president for the next 6 months. So if he's not fit to even go on stage, why is he fit to, run the free world? Get him out now. Get him out now. Just say, Joe, sorry, good run. Thank you. Thank you for beating Trump 3.5 years ago. But we got it from here. Is kind of how I feel they're going behind this the scenes on this. Dude.
But then who?
I don't know.
They're not running her out there.
No, they're not running her out there. I think the only viable option, I don't know if she thinks she wants it, is Obama. I don't think she wants to be president. That's just my feeling. I've never read her intent. I've never read anything about her intentions of ever wanting to run. It doesn't mean she won't if you know.
But here's the thing. They're and not to me or you, but they're saints almost, right? That they're untouchable.
He was awful, and he was awful.
But he was, but they're beloved. So why would you ever run the risk of not being? You still get 50,000 a speech, you know what I mean? Why walk away from that?
Yeah, I don't, and that brings me back to one of the best lines of the night was when Trump said, I didn't want to be here. If you were a better president, I'd be at one of my resorts right now, just chilling, that was perfect. And, I don't know. And then they did the fact checking. And obviously the thing with the fact checking is the questions that were asked about J6, Charlottesville, and abortion and all that stuff, Trump was going to stand his ground on it, so they can instantly fact check it that it's fucking false. He's not going to just go up there I allowed January 6th to happen, and then cops come on stage, cuff him, and take him away. That's just kind of stupid. I actually thought...
But he did mess up.
Oh, he totally messed up.
He should have said something.
Yeah.
He should have been listen,
stuck to his law and order.
Yeah, I would have just been like, you know what? It was a breaking of law and order. But I also would have said, when I nominated Kavanaugh, the liberals tried to break down the door. I
Right.
mean, because they have video of that
Right.
trying to stop that vote.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
there's so much hypocrisy on both sides, and
oh, you know what? I will say this. One of my most important comments. I looked at that last night and I was like, this is the best we can come up with.
yeah. Well, yeah. That is the common theme. You know what
But
though?
that's on both sides.
But the way to look at it too is this is it for both. Like whoever wins, like the other one. I mean, obviously Biden could run again, but he's going to be 86, and if Trump loses, he's going to fucking go off in the sunset. And so this is the last term of a octogenarian we're going to have, and then hopefully some of these,
Okay.
I thought Vivek was very good post show. I just saw I thought Marco Rubio was very good post show. He gives me a little pause to say, all right, maybe there's some future. I didn't see DeSantis talk, but I would love to see him pick Vivek and Vivek debate Kamala. I think that would be another fucking just beat down.
They can't let her go out and do that. They just can't.
Did you see her last night? Did you wait up for that, or you went to bed? Or did you see
I
anything
did.
this
I
morning?
went to bed.
She got very defensive, and which is understandable. She has to. I get it. You got to stick up for your president. You can't just go out and throw him under the bus. But I mean, I don't know. One last thought, and then we'll move on. I had no problem with the moderators last night.
None.
I thought they were fine. I thought the only thing I knew they were doing was cutting Joe Biden off and going to Trump because they didn't know what Biden was going to say.
Yeah.
So they're okay. Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Joe. We're going to go over to Donald.
I do. They had a quick trigger with him.
They did.
They really did. But they needed it.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
you said,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Like I don't see how they could debate again. He said this morning he's up and ready to go for number 2. If they do, Biden said that this morning. If they do, please, Trump, just be like a Dem and just sit there smugly and be like, I don't even need to respond to this. You're going to bury yourself. But
Oh my. That
who do you think would replace him?
I don't even know. I mean, like, who do they have? Like, to be honest with you though, if like we have to look at it this too. If Trump gets to jail, if he gets put in jail, if he gets sent, what is like 4 days before the convention?
Yeah.
Who do Republicans have?
Well, it doesn't matter. He's still the candidate, whether he goes to jail or not.
I know, but like, you don't think they'd want somebody to step in?
No, he can win from jail. Dude, it's probably if he goes to jail, he's probably going to win 60-40. Like,
I know. But like, who's
it's going to get overturned, though. That's everything I read, and I know I don't read both sides all the time, but
from what I've read,
and he's got the Supreme Court behind him, so
there's and also from everything I read, like if you read the charges, they're not actual charges. Like I don't, no matter.
Yeah,
what
they're
says,
literally trumped
allowed,
up charges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're literally allowed to pay someone off to not testify against you.
Right.
You're allowed to settle out of court so that they don't sue you.
Right.
Like everything he did was legal. They just didn't like it.
And if anything, I read that in the past they were all misdemeanors, and they just made these felonies for out of like thin air. I don't know. And then they're like, the convicted felony shot back, so is your son.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That was hilarious.
All right, well, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm sure I'll have many more shows coming up in the next 5 months about what is going to go down.
What are we? We're 5 months away. 5 months. 4 or 5 months
Yeah,
away, November, right?
Yeah. I'll end it on this note. I actually believe him when he said he would get that reporter out of there and he would end the war in Ukraine before he became president if he won election. I actually believe that.
I do too.
I think that he has the clout with foreign presidents and stuff. Especially Putin.
You know what I didn't understand on that one, just real quick? Why he didn't bring up all the stuff that the Biden family has connected to Ukraine and just be like, this is why we're there.
Right.
That's what I didn't, when they talked about the war in Ukraine. I don't know why Trump didn't just say, we're giving them all this money because of the ties that your family has to the Ukraine.
Right.
Like, you know, I mean, it's true.
I mean, he may be holstering that for the second debate if they even get that far. I mean, you know, I don't know. There's so much to take away from last night. Like, you could literally like analyze every 5 minutes and do an hour show on those 5 minutes. You know, it's just it's crazy, and it's fun to see. You know, I had a couple people comment on my Facebooks that are liberals, and they just resort to basically name calling at this point because it's like, take the L. I've taken a lot of L's in my life, and I've admitted to them. You know, Trump lost 4 years ago. Whatever, took it. When Obama won, you know, I didn't say he's not my president. I took it. Like, whatever. Like, just move on. Like, get your party together. Get your party straight. Like, I know liberals have some, you know, great ideas, and it's just, but what they're doing in this country right now, and just from a, you know, if you have bird's eye view looking down, and the whole world is kind of, you know, still laughing. And they're definitely laughing at us about last night, and that's on both sides. That's Trump and Biden. But
I mean, you gotta look at like our adversaries. Like, you look at Putin, and then you look at like people in Iran, and you look at all these people like Palestine, and all these people out protesting and everything, and they're all like, this is, I mean, if we ever went to war, this is a layup. Right. Like, you know, like they had to reinstate the draft.
Yeah. I don't know.
By the way, I think we aged out.
I'm safe at 50. I better be. They'll take one look at me and be like, nah, you're good.
I want to say it was 24 to 36. You have to register for the draft.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure we both aged out though.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. All right. So that's that. Again, stay tuned in the next few months. It's going to get probably weirder and crazier than it was last night. So, all right. So I know it's going to be strange. Yeah. So I know it was a couple of weeks ago. The Celtics won the championship. I don't necessarily think you were eligible to celebrate, Mr. Mercurio. I mean, all you did all season long was poo-poo the Porzingis. You poo-pooed, I don't watch basketball anymore. The fucking refs suck. I'm fucking blah, blah, blah. And I know how big of a fan of Boston sports you are. Haven't watched the game all year. And then, you know, the finals roll around, and we're like texting back and forth the whole finals, every play, every call. Had to. And then, and you know, you're claiming the what is it? The 13th championship since 2001 for the Boston sports teams. What gave?
Is it 13?
Yeah.
Is it 13 now?
6-4-2-1. Yep. 6-4-2-1.
No. So here's the thing. I will always be a diehard sports fan, Boston sports fan. I'll always be a diehard Celtics fan. But there is no doubt in anyone's mind that the NBA is by far the worst product of the four major sports. It's awful. It's awful. Watching it is torture.
See, I get your point, but you know, we're pretty much the same age. We went through the 80s, and it was the golden age of basketball, you know, and then the Jordan rules, and that's when the refs started changing, and you know, right up through to now, and Steph Curry kind of ruined this style of basketball as much as everyone loves Steph, but I mean, you can look back to him in the three-pointer, and I don't know, it changed the game. You know, analytics changed the game. Refs are still the refs. I'm sure there's some that are on the take from the NBA themselves. You know, I think the Celtics were too good to get beat by that. You know, they gave up the one game in Dallas like it was a gentleman's sweep. There's no other way to put it. It was a gentleman's sweep here. They literally in Game 4 in Dallas had confetti come down from the rafters after the game. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really?
The one game Dallas won was the one game Scott Foster did. Yeah. Just saying. And, no, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. The game has changed. It's not as... It's changed in the aspect of, like, there's more freedom of movement. Like, I get that. But there's also...
But that's changing, too. That's changing, too.
But there's also freedom to travel. There's freedom to carry the ball. You know what I mean? Like, they've taken away the best parts of what the game was. And like you said, I mean, you've said this to me a million times. It is interesting in the fact of no 20-point lead is safe. Whereas when we were growing up, if you were up 20 in the fourth quarter,
it was over. It was over.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that and one stuff. Skip to my Lou is coming to the league.
Somebody said it too. Allen Iverson. He was the first one they literally let carry the ball.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I mean, and I'm not.
I think that makes for a more. I don't know. Like if they started calling carry all the time, like that's just like you have to adapt because all these kids grow up on playing that way. So when you get to the NBA, they're just going to start like blowing the whistle every fucking possession because they carried. Like there's egregious ones, but like I don't mind it. I think it makes for a better visual product. But the 3-pointer I think is definitely. I don't say it's ruined the league because I still watch every Celtics game that I can. I don't get them all, so like, thank God they're good and they're on the major networks here and there.
They're on national TV.
I mean, I remember, before the Garnett era. Holy Christ, we were fucking bad. But
well, all right. So somebody said this to me. Like, so what did we go? Like, Bird retired in '91, but they were done at.
They were already toast.
So we went from our last finals was '87 to '08.
Yeah.
Like we went that whole time. And then they had that one miracle run in '01 where they got to the conference finals against the Nets, but it wasn't really like it. It wasn't really, I mean, you never once thought they could win the championship.
Right.
But like we lived through some really dark times.
I'm actually glad we lost that year because we would have gotten wrecked by the Lakers.
We would have gotten. It would have been a sweep, and we would have lost by 20 every game.
We were actually up. Weren't we up 2-1 in that series too against the Nets?
We were.
Yeah,
we were. And Pierce missed the free throws in Game 4.
Yeah,
that would have won the game. But you know what's funny is that year in 2001, the Lakers, we swept them in the regular season.
Yeah,
we actually swept them in the regular season that year. Antoine Walker hit a fadeaway bank 3 at LA. To win that game.
Yeah.
But we went through some dark times.
That's when you watched it.
I did. You know what's funny? I was so into that team because that was the year Pitino resigned. And then they started winning games.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. And then because it was like
we were excited back then when we got Pitino. We were going to summer league games up in Lowell.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
We saw Bill Russell there.
I was. You guys were in Connecticut. I was on the phone with you. We were all like screaming.
Yeah.
Dude, we all threw a fucking party when they drafted Pierce. We were like, what the hell? And then he followed it up the next year by drafting Jerome Moisu.
Oh man, we could have had Duncan. That's the only reason why Pitino took the job.
Right. He thought we were going to have.
And this is what kills me about the NBA, and it's even fucking worse now. It's like, well, it doesn't kill me. But all these teams tank for what? For what? A fucking 15% chance to get the number 1 pick? That's why the NFL, like, you tank. Like, you're like, who's going to tank this year? Why? First of all, way off subject, but why is everyone considering Shedeur Sanders the number 1 overall pick next year? That's like the consensus. That's just pure hype.
He's awful. I have watched Colorado games.
Dude, I watched like 6 games last year because they were just hyping Deion Sanders, and like it was kind of fun the first 3, and then they sucked after that. Granted, they lost Travis Hunter, but
even still,
right?
One guy wouldn't have made.
No, it wouldn't have changed I mean, they might have won one more, but so he's like the consensus one, and it's like, but like, let's say he was Peyton Manning, right? You could literally. This is what the Colts did for Andrew Luck. They literally knew they could get Andrew Luck if they lost every game. And they knew they could get compensation for trading Peyton Manning. They were in a great spot. I mean, too bad they couldn't protect Luck and he fucking said, fuck you, and he left the league. But, the NBA isn't built that way.
Well, it's funny because the NBA did that. They installed the lottery for 85 because in 84, like 10 teams tried to tank for Olajuwon or Jordan.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, in the NBA, Detroit, they've had the worst record in the league the last 2 years, and they've picked 5th both years.
Right.
Because they lose the lottery.
They have some good players. Like Cade Cunningham's a good player.
He is.
Like, I mean, again, you're right. Like the lottery means nothing. Like, I mean, I guess you're bettering your chances. And what's the point of winning 10 games to 20 when either way you're not making the playoffs? I get that part of it. But when was the last? I should have looked this up. But when was the last time the worst team in the league got the number one pick? Like Atlanta got it this year.
I think the last time Zion. Oh no, actually
No.
that was they were like 14th or something, and they got Zion.
Yeah, honestly I don't know.
Wink, wink, because Anthony Davis got traded.
Right. Yeah, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
Can you just send him to LA for us? We'll give you the number one pick.
But isn't that what
Ewing.
the NBA draft lottery does?
Yeah.
Right? For the most part. I mean, look at Duncan and Wembanyama.
Yeah.
They have to go to San Antonio. Who else is going to San Antonio? You know what I mean? Like you put generational talent there.
That's the Popovich
maybe
effect.
Actually, you know what? I have to look this up. I'll tell you later. I think the Spurs were the worst team in the NBA last year.
Yeah, they were. Atlanta was in the play-in.
I think they were.
Atlanta was in the play-in.
No, I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm saying. Yeah. I just can't. I can't remember the last. Oh, you think they were the worst team last year?
Yeah, they were the worst. I think they were the worst team. They got Wembanyama.
It wasn't Detroit. They've been pretty fucking bad.
I don't know.
I don't know. You're on my phone right now. I can't look it up. I'll take your word for it, though.
By the way, how funny is it that they fired their coach and they owe him $65 million?
Oh, my God. So stupid. Why hire that guy in the first place? And they probably hired him to lose. They wanted him to lose games. Yeah. They knew they weren't going anywhere.
Can someone just bankroll us to run a professional franchise?
Just for a year.
Just to see.
Give me a 6-year contract. I'll work a year, fire me, and I'm gone.
Yeah, but give us a year. We might be able to do better.
So the draft was basically the last 2 days. First time they've done 2 days, and then I think they moved yesterday. It was literally 4:00 in the afternoon, but it's the second round.
But what was your thought on a 2-day draft? Is this stupid?
I think it's stupid. I don't think there should even be a second round. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
So I did a little research watching the draft on Wednesday night. Wednesday night. So I went back 5 drafts all the way back to 2019. I only did the first round, but I wanted to see how many players drafted by that team were still on that team, because I wanted to emphasize how big of a crapshoot it is, even with the first pick in the draft. So last year, 2023, obviously, when Wembanyama was the number one pick, the whole draft is pretty intact unless something happened yesterday I didn't see. It's only a year later. So outside of like draft day trades, I'm talking about the team that got the player and played them that year. So that was last year. 2022's draft, there was 5 players in the top 30 basically. So 5 of the 30 picks are no longer on that team. 2021, it goes up to 10 players, actually 11 total. 10 are not on the same team they were drafted by, and 1 isn't even in the league.
Do you know who that is?
I didn't write the names down.
Oh, okay.
They're in like the G League, though, but they're not in the NBA.
Okay.
2020, this is just 4 years ago. Half the league, 15 of them, are not with the team they were drafted by, and 1 is not in the league. So 16 total players. And you go back to, I think 2020 was the Anthony Edwards year. He was number 1 overall.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was that or 2019. So 2019 is as far as I went back because I was getting tired. 16 players that are in the NBA are no longer with the team they drafted, while 5 of them are no longer in the league. So 21 of the 30 players drafted in the first round, what is that percentage? It's like 70% almost. Are not with the same fucking team.
Well, there's 30 teams, right?
So 21 of 30, so almost 70%, 69% aren't with the team anymore. Been traded away. That's why I laughed at the draft this year. It's like, no one knows these guys. I mean, I know the scouts know them, but we don't know them. I want to look at this draft because next year they're saying is fucking massive, the draft. That's why everyone's fucking...
Well, they got that kid from Maine who's from Massachusetts. His name's Cooper Flagg.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be the number 1 pick, they said. He's the one that went to Duke, right?
He would have been the number 1 pick.
He so wishes he went to UConn now.
I bet. Well, hey, I mean, he still could.
Well, not this year.
Yeah, you can. You just he hasn't
Can you?
started yet. He could transfer.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
dude,
I don't know if you
it's worse
signed a
than,
letter of intent. You have to be there for 1 year and then you can transfer.
I don't think so. I mean, it's the Wild West in college sports right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. So like and I watched the draft and like I knew outside of the UConn guys, I knew the Filipowski kid, and we want to talk about him a little bit from Duke. I only know because remember he was involved in that like court storming thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's kind of like how I remembered his name. And
I actually knew his name because I actually thought he'd be the perfect Celtic.
yeah,
Because I mean, he's 7 feet.
I think the
He
guy
can
we
shoot
got.
threes.
I think the guy we got. I watched him
No,
twice.
but I was just more that Al's our age.
Yeah,
Obviously, Porzingis is hurt. You need both Tillman and Cornette are free agents, so you need a big body
right.
just to play minutes. But after what we read about him,
Yeah.
I guess he's not. I guess he's not.
So you actually discovered this story first. So before I even saw it, but I'll let you talk on it. But basically, Filipowski has a girlfriend that groomed him.
So I've seen so many things on this already. So the end story is she's a Mormon that groomed him as a kid to become a Mormon and cut off his family. And then so she's 26, he's 20. She went to his high school prom. So she was 24.
Right, when he was
going to his high school prom with him. Then let's make it even weirder and go back to the fact that when he was 11, she babysat him.
Oh Jesus!
So you're telling me this hasn't been going on since she's 11?
Right.
All of a sudden she decided this has been going on since he was 11. And it all came out yesterday. So from what I read,
we think about dude's 7 feet, so at 11 he's probably fucking 5 foot.
He's
10.
probably like 6. Yeah. I mean, so it came out yesterday is that teams stayed away from him because of this situation. Then there's a guy, I just know the website is Draft Express, and he's like the big guy. Like everybody loves him. He does all these draft things. I don't know his name. He reported that Filipkowski's brother went on the Instagram post and the Twitter post and broke the story and said it's true. Said that she cut him off from our family. She's a Mormon, has been grooming him to become a Mormon since they were young, and that he's basically been brainwashed.
Right.
Now, I mean, and now they're in Utah.
And he slips in the draft and he ends up in the Mormon state of Utah. Shocker.
But no one else would touch him. But like it's I don't get it. Like I don't get it. I don't understand. There's something more there that I don't understand because like you're a 20-year-old college kid, right? Or you're probably what do you think? Like when you're going, like if you're good enough to go to Duke, you're probably like what, a sophomore when they start coming around the colleges and everything. You know, like you're probably good enough,
maybe
like
freshman
15,
if you're really
16. Yeah, like 15, 16. So the colleges are coming around. And you got this girl, you're like 16, she's 22, she's graduated in college. What are you doing?
Right.
Right? You go to Duke, you can probably have any chick on campus. And like you stay with this girl?
She touched his pee-pee when he was 11. He was had him at hello.
That had to be it.
I mean, seriously.
No, it has to be it.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yep.
No, you're 100% right. Like all jokes and everything aside, like it had to have started when he was 11.
Like and Celine Dion and fucking whatever that guy's name was, their husband.
Oh yeah, like
the agent.
He
was like fucking 13 when he signed her, and they've fucking been together ever since. Like no one says anything about that because it's fucking Hollywood.
Right. No shit. But seriously, like this is just, it's just such a strange story. Like, and here's the other thing, and I'm not knocking the Mormon religion, but if you're not a Mormon growing up, like you drink caffeine, you probably have alcohol. Right. You're not allowed to do any of that stuff when you're a Mormon.
Right. I don't know much about the Mormon. I don't really know anything.
I just know, like,
I know they don't drink. They
don't drink. They're not allowed to have caffeine.
It's like a fucking dry state mostly, isn't it? Salt Lake City's like a dry city.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just strange to me. This whole situation is strange. And then his family is the ones that are just out there like, yeah, this is true. Like
Right.
he doesn't talk to us anymore. And I think I don't want to say he comes from a family that's well off, but they are very comfortable. Like they don't need his money that he's about to make. Like
Right.
they don't need that. So it's strange. It's weird. I think of myself as an 11-year-old, and I probably think of it like if you think of yourself as an 11-year-old, there was probably a girl in your neighborhood that was a little bit older that you're like, wow, this chick's hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you probably think that, but you're not with her 9 years later. Like you don't like. Did I ever? I don't think I ever had a good looking babysitter. Like it's just like
Oh
I don't
man, like it reminds me of like the Branch Davidian shit. I watched,
Yeah.
I watched those like the not
documentaries.
yeah, well, yeah, but then I watched like the show, and there was basically a mother crying, like they took his son in and changed him and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
brainwashed him into all this stuff. Like I
And
didn't
you know
even
what's
realize
funny
the
about
Mormon religion like did shit like that, or they were like what's that L. Ron Hubbard's one, the Scientology. Like religion can be very persuasive and powerful, especially for young people. It's just like everything else in this world. They go after the young. It's fucking so fucking disturbing to me how
really
they do
is.
this.
Well, it's like it's like everything that goes on today without labeling anything. But I mean, it's the indoctrination of youth.
Right.
Like it's like porn in libraries and like these books that they have elementary kids like they're like we've lost morality in
Dude,
in
speaking
our
of that, in
society.
your fucking city, man. So the Boston's Children's Hospital, you see the video they put out? I think it's since
About
been
what?
about fucking explaining to children what the process is going to be of ripping out their uterus, and we don't have to take your I can't even fucking say it. Like there's like this lady in front of a camera with a fucking straight face explaining to fucking 12-year-old children how the surgery is going to go and how easy it is, and you'll feel better after, and we don't have to take everything out. We could take some of it out, and it's like, how is this fucking legal?
I just don't understand.
I wanted to be an
Like,
astronaut while I was 12. You didn't fucking send me into space.
Right.
Like,
I know. Listen, I wanted to be the starting center fielder on the Boston Red Sox. It did not.
That's how
happen.
you should identify yourself as.
No, honestly, but like,
What's your pronoun? Center fielder, Boston Red Sox. Thanks.
Who was it? Was it you that told me your brother now has to?
Yeah, he's got to put
pronouns?
he's got to put pronouns on his emails or something. I think he's refusing to do it, but
I asked these kids that worked for me a couple of years ago at the gym, like, if you put your pronouns as they, them, and I say she when describing you, are you offended? And they were like, yeah.
But what is they them? I had this conversation with my brother, as a matter of fact. What is they them? Like that's plural, right?
Right, but I think it's the whole point of being non-binary.
Binary?
It's being non-binary. They just want to be. And I asked them that.
I can't
They were
keep
like,
up.
I'm like, I can't either. I was like, what's they them? And they're like, well, they want to be non-binary. And I was like, why? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I just like, what's the benefit? Like, should I do that? Like, do I get something out of it?
Right.
And when I just kept asking questions, they word for word told me that I had a God complex because I can't think that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I
The look you're giving me right now is the
yeah,
look
I just
had on
yeah,
my
I
face.
just it's like they're I think they want to be offended. They want
The
you.
goal
They
is to
want
be
the
offended.
antagonization. They want to fight back. But by calling you your actual gender, even if it's by accident, it's just by human nature. I see you. I know what you look like. I know who you were 3 years ago. Sorry I called you a girl. Yeah, right. Instead of Josephina. Like I don't
Right.
know, like it's not like on purpose. It's just I don't know. It's just like
The funny thing is, it's like
it's society.
the goal
It's
used
just
to
how you
be-
talk.
Right. It's like the goal used to be like get along with people. The goal used to be, be respectful of people. But now like the goal is to be offended.
Right.
Like you go out into the world searching to be offended.
You want to be called like like say a transsexual, like I've seen all like countless videos. They literally film you. They like if you're a waiter, they film you, and if you say sir, they like fucking flip out. And it's like you wanted this reaction because you want to post it on Instagram or fucking TikTok. Right. You're searching this shit out.
You want 100.
People call me big guy all the time. You know, like yeah, all right, I'm a little fat, whatever, but then that's probably why they're calling me that. Like, I know. I don't fucking care.
Right. Like, it is what it is. Move on.
I'm gonna be like, no, don't call me big guy, bro. No, don't do it. Call me by my pronoun.
By the way, I got a funny, real quick story. There's a kid. So the Gianni's family, their middle son is really good friends with this kid who also worked as a lifeguard at Lifetime. But I've known him since he was like 14. There was some feminist like ranting on TikTok, just all men, white males, all this stuff, right? So he went on and he commented, "Shut up and go get me a beer."
Yeah,
it went viral. He
had
really? 1.2 million likes.
I think
she made a video about it.
Really?
Yeah, she made a video about it, and then TikTok almost banned her because he was 16 when he did that. And she went on and like shared his profile and like all this stuff. But it was funny because he went viral because he told her to shut up and go get my beer.
That's a good fucking perfect segue into our other topic today, going viral.
Oh boy.
Our girl, does anyone know who Haley Welsh is that's listening? Because I didn't know her name until you told me when I fucking first picked up the phone with you. And that is the Hawk Tua girl. You got, what is it? You got to spit on that shit or something? What did she say?
She's like, you got to spit on that shit. Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
No, so before we get into this,
yeah,
I didn't know. So I just thought it was random, like a random guy talking to her or whatever. But apparently it's like two famous interview guys on TikTok.
Yeah, they were in Nashville or something, right? And they just
but that's why it went so viral.
They showed it.
Famous.
Right, they're showed
like influencers,
right,
or whatever you call it. Yeah.
So they posted it to their shit, and everyone's like,
yeah.
So it took. So I have a friend that all he does, George Connolly. All he does is post memes. That's it. On Facebook. That's all he does. And he was doing this girl for like 3 days straight. And I had no idea what it was. And I'm like, I don't understand what is, because there's like that still photo of her like doing the, and her mouth is sticking out. I'm like, is this a blowjob fucking me? I don't know what this is. And then finally I'm like, all right, I got to fucking Google this fucking shit. So I did. And then I saw the video. I'm like, and my instant thoughts were, this girl is either going to sue the shit out of somebody or run with it and become a fucking Instagram millionaire. And I think the latter is what's happening.
It is what's happening. So a rumor went out right away that she was a preschool teacher and that she was forced to resign.
Yeah, but that wasn't true, right?
Right. The school came out and was like, no, that's not true.
Right.
And then, so I'm reading this and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I send you that tweet yesterday. She signed with a talent agency.
Yeah.
It's called United Talent Agency. And apparently it is the most powerful. This is what I read.
Yeah.
It's the most powerful agency in Hollywood. So she has a talent agency now. Now, let me ask you this. She's the type of girl, she's going to end up in comedies, right? Like she'll end up in like an Adam Sandler movie or something.
Yeah.
Probably not him. He's a little bit more family oriented, but like she'll end up in like some kind of movie that someone will be like, oh, I'm introducing this new girl to my mom. And like her mom would be like, I can't stand this girl. Something stupid like that.
Like a 10-second fucking cameo.
Yeah. She's going to do that and she's going to make millions.
I read this morning that the WWE is considering fucking bringing her on and training her and get her in the ring, and that will be like her shtick.
Yeah,
she'll probably come out with like a big pole.
Yeah, they go after everybody. But I was just like, I'm like, how long does this one last?
Right.
Like, how long does this 15 minutes of fame last?
So before you go into your little research,
through the end of the year,
who knows? I mean, sometimes these things just go away like one hit wonders, and sometimes, I'm not really into pop culture as much as I used to be, you know?
Me either.
So
I don't either.
So I don't like, you know, I don't seek it out like the kids do. But another quick thing back to the debate. As I'm watching the debate last night and people are online bitching about these 2 octogenarians and we could do better and they're not wrong. But then I thought about this Hawk Tua girl and, you know, and all the people you're about to bring up that you researched a little bit. And like, well, this is Gen Z coming up, you know. What are you gonna get in 20 years? You know, like
this is what I'm saying.
Like,
I always make this joke.
all the debates are going to be on TikTok. You know, it's like who has the best meme wins presidency. Like what? Where are we heading? You want to make fun of these 2 80-year-olds on stage as much as you might not like Biden. You know, he's served the country for 55 years. You know, obviously it made him a lot of money, but you could talk about a million Congress people that have made money off of being in Congress. And where are we heading with like this something like this just becomes, you know, like you said, but now it's people are going to try to say, like, they're going to try to get, like, they're going to try to go on that, whoever filmed this show and do something different or more, you know, over the top just to see, because with kind of, you know, there was a girl during COVID that was farting into a jar.
Oh, yeah.
And selling it for like $50,000 and getting it. Like, this is the world we live in now.
I know. Well, you know what? By the way, when I was sharing that stuff with my group chat yesterday, and someone goes, "Can we come up with a catchphrase?" Because that's what it is now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always make the joke, like, they're in charge of our retirement. Like,
yeah.
That's where we're headed.
Yep.
Like we're screwed. And I'm sure there's some really nice Gen Z, and I'm sure there's some really smart Gen Z, but I don't like, do you ever go on like Instagram? Do you follow Charlie Kirk?
I follow him on Twitter, yeah.
And he puts up the videos of sitting at the table outside the event he's going to be at and all that stuff. And I listen to these kids and what they say to him, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like this is how you think? Like, one girl with a bald head with like a tattoo on the side that like means non-binary told him that facts don't matter, feelings are all that matter, and feelings are actually facts. And I'm like replaying that in my mind. And I'm like, this is where we're headed.
Yeah.
Like we're headed to a point where, like, Liz had a girl that worked for her one time who said, "Liz, I need to go home." And Liz said, "Why?" She goes, "I'm just not mentally prepared to be here for 8 hours." What does that mean?
People, they don't know how to muscle through.
Right. I go to work and I'm not mentally prepared.
I get people that go to work or they call out because they're hungover and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know, I do stretches where I'm hungover every day. I don't just fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Don't drink the night before.
You just fight through it.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you fight through it. Like, life is tough. I mean, one of them, I saw a Candace Owens clip, and this girl goes, "What do you have to say to the people who feel threatened by your presence here today?" She goes, "Get a fucking helmet. Life is tough."
Right.
And then she just moved on. But it's just like, I don't know. And we're headed for a weird, but like, this girl's famous now.
Right.
Like, this girl's famous. And
she seems like a sweetheart.
She'll make money off this.
I mean,
she's kind of
good looking. I mean, and at least she's not one of those, you know, like you just described. Like, she's not one of those, oh, fuck. No, she's out there drinking in Nashville, having a good time, speaking how we all speak behind closed doors. Right. Girls talk like this all the fucking time.
I know.
As guys do too. That's why the whole Trump thing with fucking, you know, I grab him by the pussy. That was just fucking in a fucking bus talking to a guy talking. Girls are so much worse.
And you know what's funny? Every time you bring up something like that, women will look you dead in the face and be like, "You should hear women when we get together."
Exactly.
Like, it's way worse. You know
right.
what I mean? They're like, you think
you guys are bad? Holy shit.
Yeah, you should see us. And it's like, it's so funny because it's just
like that dude's dick was so crooked.
Yeah. Fucking, well, you know what? Because those guys were TikTok famous, I wonder if she knew who they were.
She might have.
She's that age. She might have. She must have. I mean, she's the age where she probably has TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, I think that she, I mean, whatever. I mean, this is today's America. Like, you won't get famous for saving someone out of a burning building, but
Right.
Hawk Tool will have 2 million followers on Instagram.
Don't worry about our fucking soldiers.
Dude,
She can't get in jobs, but
that's what I mean.
Hawk
Like,
Tua.
you know, but yeah, like she's famous. Like she's the person that they go after. So it's funny because we talked about this. I do have to bring up one, at least one other person.
Oh, you had
'Cause
two. Go
I
ahead.
did
Yeah,
research this. Do you remember the Dr. Phil show where they had this white girl on and her reaction to everything was cash me outside?
Yeah, yeah, of
like
course.
She was like gonna fight everybody. You remember
Yeah,
her?
yeah.
So her name's Danielle Breggioli. She's worth $25 million now.
Do you remember
She's
why
worth
she was on the show?
Because her mother couldn't control her.
Oh, one of those.
That's
Yeah,
what
I have
it
an
was.
uncontrollable daughter episode of Dr.
I had an
Phil.
uncontrollable daughter. And she was talking shit to her. She was talking shit to Dr. Phil. People in the audience were yelling, and she kept just saying, "Cast me outside!" Like she's going to go outside and fight them.
Right. Oh, that's
And
what that means.
somehow-
I don't even know what it meant.
You didn't know that?
No, I
Oh,
just
yeah,
thought.
people-
I thought it was like I don't know. I thought it was like give me money or something. I don't fucking know.
No, like people outside, people
Like
in the
on site,
audience
it
were
kind of
saying-
means like on site.
Yeah, like
Like-
people in the audience were like, "If you were my daughter, I would give you a beating," and she'd
Right.
be like, "Yeah, cash me outside." Like she parlayed that into $25 million.
Nice. I
She's
thought it
got
was catch me
merchandise.
outside. It's catch me
It's
outside.
supposed to be catch.
Oh,
supposed to be
I
catch.
don't fucking know. I'm so out of touch.
But I looked it up because she has a record deal. She's a rapper. She's an influencer. She sells merchandise, and she's worth $25 million.
I've never seen listened to one song, saw any merch, nothing about this girl. I've seen memes
Nothing.
about it. I've seen memes about it, but
Yeah.
how long ago was that? Was that before COVID or?
Oh, way before.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
I think it's been like 8 or 10 years.
Oh wow. What was the other one?
It's just the other one was this lady. Last year, she was on a plane. She was in the back of the plane. She said some guy stole her AirPods, and she was the one. She was yelling at the people in first class, the stewardesses, to let her off the plane. Her name was Tiffany Gomes, and she kept yelling like, "That guy back there is not real. Like he doesn't exist. Like all these weird things." She's worth $5.5 million now.
From
like, how-
from
Like what do we like?
from views
she's
on
half-
it, from views or
Yeah, she's been interviews and stuff like that. She's like apparently like a real estate representative, but also like this is today.
Well, I mean, I had Lindsay Capuano on my show. You know, the girl with the really big butt. She
Yeah.
was a sweetheart, but she's crushing it because she doesn't even get naked, just models her butt.
Yeah,
And then people pay.
Liz has a friend that's an influencer that doesn't work, has like a $3 million home,
Yeah.
has like two cars that are beautiful. You know what I mean? Like has this beautiful life, and I think all she does is go on like TikTok and like do makeup and dress and just show how she lives.
I don't get it. Like, is
I don't get it.
this a fad or is this the future? Fad or future?
Future.
That should be a new. That should be a new,
We could
like,
do that. New
little
segment.
game we play. Fad or
Yeah,
future?
new segment.
I like that. I
It's-
gotta write that
it's,
down. Fad or
it's,
future?
It's the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
why
like
not?
Braden doesn't put his phone down. He just watches video after video after video after video, and I'm just like, I will literally like. Sometimes I get sucked in on reels, but like I'm not even on TikTok. I don't even think TikTok will be in the United States within the next 6 months, and especially if Trump wins, he's getting rid of it.
I would have asked Biden that last night, by the way,
Yeah.
because he supposedly banned it.
Right.
Actually, if I was the moderators, I would have asked both of them to see
Yeah.
what they said.
Oh, Trump, he hates it. He's been trying to ban it. But I'll get sucked in for a little bit, and then I'm just like, nah, I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
go back to I fear for the youth because, like, you know, COVID had a lot to do with this, but I don't think it's the main aspect of why. I mean, they were, you know, TikTok was around before that, as was Instagram and Facebook, and I just like he literally will, like, not to call him out, but like he'll be playing video games in his bedroom, he'll have lunch. He'll put his AirPods in. He'll be watching videos while he's making lunch. Sit down at the table, watch the videos while he's eating, then go to the bathroom with the fucking phone in his hand, watch. Like, it just never stops. And then he'll I'll finally go, put this shit down for a second. And I'm just trying to relax. He's like, want to go play wiffle ball? I'm like, fuck you. One, I can't swing a bat. My shoulder sucks. But I'm like, don't, I'll go back and watch your videos. Leave me alone. I love the kid, but this is like every kid now. Like, it's not just him.
That's all they are. That's all it is. It's every single kid. They all do it. And like, I would have kids working for me at Lifetime, and I'd be like, hey, can you go get the dirty towels out of the locker room? But they'd be on TikTok.
Right.
They'd just be watching TikTok all the time.
Right. They're not working. And
it's just like, I'm a social media guy. I'm always on social media, right? Our podcasts, sharing pictures, like all this stuff. But like, I can't go down the rabbit hole of reels, because if I do, you could look up 15 minutes later and be like, holy shit, I've been watching reels that whole time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these reels or whatever, like, they cut off before the fucking climax of the fucking video. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's like half of them are like that. Yeah. That's what turns me off. I'm like, if you're going to show me something, fucking finish it, please. But I was grilling last night, and he comes out and he shows me this video, and he's big into cars and stuff. And there's this place in North Haven called The Lab, and they just work on all this. Like, this dude's like a multimillionaire, built this fucking high-end lab, basically, where if, like, say you bought a Ferrari and you wanted him to fucking put aftermarket shit on it, you bring it to this guy, right? So he shows me this video. They had this car show 2 nights ago, and there's this Lamborghini Aventador, I believe it's called, with all this aftermarket shit. So it's just sitting in the garage, and there's about 30 people surrounding it, and they're all got their phones out, and they're all filming it, and all the guy's doing is revving the engine, and a little flames are shooting out of these 2 fucking aftermarket tailpipes, like tiny little flames. And he shows me this for like 15 seconds. I'm like, okay. So I look at him, I go, what do these guys do? Do they really it's like filming fireworks. Do you ever rewatch them? I go, do these guys fucking go home and jerk off to this shit? He just looks at, he's 14. He looks at me. He's like, he just starts laughing. He's like, what? I go, what do you do? Do you your show? Like, what do you do with this video? Great. A car revving and flames coming out. You got 30 people filming this. What do? Do they go home and do they jerk off to it? Like, I don't know what else to fucking say to you. It makes no sense to me. It's cool to see it, like, in person, but I mean, we're all guilty of filming shit that we never watch again. I used to film fireworks when I was younger. I'm like, I just realized I never rewatched them. Like, I just saw them.
Right.
Like, the greatest picture ever is LeBron scoring his 30,000th point, or whatever it was, when he broke the record.
Broke the record. Yeah.
And everyone's got their phone out except for Phil Knight sitting in the front row. He's actually watching the action. Everyone else has their phone out around him. Right. Like, you're there. Like, watch it. Why watch it through your phone? Like, you need the gratification to prove to someone that you saw it live. Just tell them. Why? Right? I mean, you don't need to lie. I'll trust you that you were there.
Well, no, I mean, that has to be it then, right? I think you hit the nail on the head, because about 3 minutes after it happened, you could go on YouTube and see it.
Yeah.
So it's not like the actual watching of the video.
Right.
Right? Because, are you... Like, I'll joke around. Like, I'll take a Snapchat of Louis and send it to Liz at work, right? Yeah. If he's acting like a fool, whatever he's doing, right? I don't go back and watch them.
No.
It's just like, I just...
Like, remember when we went to games? We were, like, we'd go to a Celtics game or Red Sox game back in the day. We would either go to the bar across the street and we'd watch the highlights on ESPN. Like, oh, that was cool. Like, remember when he hit that home run? Whatever, like... I just, there's one video I filmed in my life, I think, that I watch every once in a while, and that's when I just got lucky and I filmed David Ortiz hitting not a grand slam. He had a home run in Game 2 of the World Series against St. Louis in 18. And it's like the only thing I filmed the whole game. I was just like, Poppy's up. Let's see what happens. And like the next pitch, he hit a home run. I'm like, I can't believe I just captured that. But then there's these people that literally they'll do it the whole game waiting for that one, and then they'll shrink it down and like they were there and all this shit. It's like, that's how people view sports now. And it's like, dude, just enjoy it. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the talent.
Do people do that?
I mean, what money are you going to make if you fucking just sit there and you save a snippet of a stolen base record. I don't know. Like, it's just.
Well, it's funny you say that because like I'll go on Instagram or what was it? What was the game Pritchard hit like a 65-foot three?
Well, there's two of them.
Was it? What was the no? I think
Game
that was
2 and Game 5.
Okay, so it was the Game 5 one, and they like on Instagram or like on Twitter, you just see fan reaction to when it happened,
Right?
And they show the little clips of it happening. So it's like, I mean, I don't know.
Now,
kind of.
Yeah, there are certain instances where I appreciate these fucking idiots that just have their phones out all the time, and that happened on Sunday at the fucking Travelers Championship when the protesters ran out on the green, and obviously the CBS crew fucking pans away. But then, like, you go on Twitter and you see the people that actually filmed it, and I'm like, you know what? Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to see what happened there, and I'm glad you had your phone out, you know? So I guess it works both ways, but, like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, what is it with these environmentalists? They try to glue themselves to
I don't
basketball
know.
courts.
When was the last protest that worked?
Do we have one?
No.
Do we have one that worked? I mean,
There was some guy that protested. Do you see this in Twitter? What's the tractor company?
John Deere?
No.
Okay, that just showed my age, by the way.
No, it's oh shit. I don't want to get too into it, but there was a guy that Bobby Barack or whoever it was, basically protested them about their DEI policies and them supporting like gay pride parades and shit, and he fucking called them out on it, and they 3 weeks later they changed all our policies, and he like posted it online. American Tractor or Tractor Supply company.
Tractor Supply.
Yeah. Anyway, that one actually worked, but that was for the, you know, I don't know. It's just these guys stormed the green at 18. Like they've been waiting there all day, you know, to do that.
And was it because Scotty was on 18? Like because he's the draw? Is that what it is?
Well, I think it was 18 regardless. It was whoever was coming up. Yeah. Crazy town, crazy world we live in.
I mean, I don't know why I just asked that. There's no way environmentalists know who Scotty Scheffler is. I don't know why I just asked that.
I did see a lot of references last night when they started debating about golf. And then people were like, wait, if this is the case, shouldn't Scotty Scheffler be president? You know, like shit like that.
Somebody I know put up a picture. It was like the President Championship, but it had like all the official like PGA stuff on it, and it was Trump swinging a golf club and Biden walking with a cane. Yeah. And they were like, this is the match that needs to happen.
Yeah. Bryson DeChambeau tweeted, I will host the match. All right, let's do one last topic, and then we'll get our douche of the weekend, and we'll wrap this show up. All right, so back to the draft. The Bronny James was the big draw on day 2. Probably the first ever big draw on round 2 of the NBA ever. No one really paid. Yeah, they talked about like where is he going to go?
First time anybody picked in the 50s has actually been like talked about.
Right, and you know it's all bullshit. It's like the agent Rich Paul called all the teams and said, you know, if you draft him, he's going to go to Australia. Like this is where I was praying the Celtics drafted him and just stuck him in Maine. But you know, whatever. It's LeBron's LeBron. But it brought me to like the whole nepotism thing. And right after they drafted him, the whole fucking panel on ESPN with Screaming A. Smith leading it off is like, don't you think this is not nepotism for the first time? And blah, blah, this fucking shit's like whatever. If you think this is the first time this ever happened, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, no. Duh. We're not stupid. I don't even know if nepotism is technically illegal. I don't think it's like a law. I think it's more of a morality thing. But
here's the thing. I have no problem with a father getting his son a job. I don't have a problem with that. Right? Like when you like if my dad was powerful, I would want a job. Like if he could help me.
Right.
The only difference is the thing that gets me about this whole situation is great. His dad got him a job, a high paying job. The people that act like one, it's not nepotism, and two, he earned the right to be in the NBA is beyond me. He scored 4 points, had 2 rebounds and 2 assists a game in 19 minutes. He shot 36% from the field, 26% from 3. Tell me in any way how that kid belongs to the NBA if his last name wasn't James.
Of course. He never would have been. And he wouldn't have been guided into that. He wouldn't have been guided into that spot at 56 or 55, whatever it was. But this brought me to thinking, because now there's a lot of chatter about nepotism. Nepotism really doesn't really happen to someone like you or me. You know, my dad probably could have hired me to work for his carpentry company, but I would never. I sucked at fucking doing that kind of shit, so I didn't work for my father. And I know that kind of stuff happens in the business world all the time. But you take it to Hollywood and all this, like, nepotism's for the elite. It always has been. You know, like, all the kids of the famous actors, they don't go to acting school. They just get a role, and I'm sure they're trained at some level, but it just is what it is. Like, it doesn't bother me either. It's just like you just said, like, this guy has zero credentials to be in the NBA.
Right.
And then they're paying these guys to hype them up and say, "Oh, all the scouts were really impressed." No, they weren't. No. I'm sorry. They were not impressed at any level of it. The scouts, when he was in high school, already said he was not going to be a lottery pick. He's not going to be a draft pick. And the Lakers could have literally not drafted him. There was only 4 picks left, drafted a different player, and then signed him.
Yeah.
But because LeBron wanted him drafted, because there's a different allure of being drafted than there is of not.
So I don't understand. Like, the only problem with this whole thing is the people saying it's not nepotism. That's the only problem with this whole situation, because it is. And that's who's the president of the Patriots? Jonathan Kraft.
Right.
Who's the owner?
His dad.
Kraft.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? No. Who was our defensive coordinator and safeties coach the last 2 years? They're both, their last name is Belichick.
Right.
No problem.
Right.
No problem.
Yep.
I don't have a problem.
Just call for what it is.
That's all it is. Like, I mean,
but like you said, this one's just more exaggerated because the kid sucks. I'm not saying he sucks, but they're gonna. This just makes me laugh because now the Lakers are in a spot where they have to play him. They have to play him with his father on the court. They're probably not going to be that good. They're going to be fighting for a play-in spot again and probably losing the first round again if they're lucky. They didn't improve their team. Granted, there's still free agency left, and trades to happen, but they did not improve their team the last 2 days.
If you look at the Lakers and you look at this whole situation, I think it's hilarious that people are saying Bronny earned his right in the league, and then there's others saying Bronny didn't earn his. The worst situation out of it is they hired his fucking podcast partner with no experience to be their head coach.
Right.
That's the worst situation out of the two of them. A father getting his kid a job is not a bad situation. Right. Hiring some schmo off the street because you're his podcast partner is a horrible situation.
I mean, I'd hire you, Chris.
Listen, if I had a chance, we'd be working. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is why it's so stupid. A father getting his kid a job is not a problem. It's really not. It's the people that are acting like it wasn't nepotism. That is the problem with this.
But
if I had a kid and I had the ability to get him a very high paying job where he could support himself, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
But there's there's a lot of comparisons to like Elway and Eli and all that stuff and how they forced their way to certain teams. And they're trying to compare these two. I'm like, first of all, those guys were first round number one picks. You guys are trying to basically collude against against yourself and tell other teams, basically give them an ultimatum. If you draft him, he's not going to play for you, just so you can get, like, I'm sure the whole league is like, dude, take him, man. We don't fucking want him.
So that's like,
he's all yours, bro.
Yeah, that's what's funny to me is what team would have considered him?
Nobody.
Right. He's not an NBA player. But, one of these days I'll do it if I'm on vacation or something. Second-round picks that actually make it in the NBA are so rare. They're the guy, second-round picks are the guy you draft from Turkey that will never come over, but you hold his rights.
Right.
You're not – there's very little second-round picks that succeed. I know, Ginobili was one.
Yeah.
Michael Redd was one. But, look how far I'm going back.
Right.
You're going back a ways.
I think they said there's been 50 players that have made at least one All-Star team from the second round. But that's fucking going back 70-something years. You know? It's less than one a year. Less than one a year comes from the second round.
Like, never once should you have feel threatened that he was going to go anywhere else.
Right.
And also, I mean, let's just call it what it is on top of it. The NBA said no one's allowed to draft him.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way the NBA would have let someone else draft him.
Right.
They wouldn't have.
Hey, did you ever look up Rich Paul's like young client list?
Young clients, he doesn't have many.
No.
He doesn't have many. It's like Draymond, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Clay. I think Clay Thompson's one. Like
these guys are all fucking out of the league in 5 years.
Right. I mean, I'm sure he has some young ones, but he doesn't have like
he's not getting the fucking high profile guys coming out.
No. Like,
he didn't have Wembanyama. Right. He got Jaylen Brown, right? Or no? Did Jaylen Brown left him?
Jaylen Brown. Remember, Jaylen Brown signed with the Kanye one.
Oh, that's right. It was Kanye. Yeah, that's
Kanye,
right.
And then they did the anti-Semitism thing, and he left them. I don't know where he is, but he's not clutch.
Yeah. Huh.
Do you know? By the way, did you know? I heard this on the radio today. Do you know who Rich Paul dates?
No.
Adele.
Really?
Singer.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
I looked it up. He dates Adele.
For how long?
A couple of years now.
Really?
He dates Adele.
Wow. I don't even know I don't even know if I want to make a joke out of it or good for him or like I don't know how to react to that. I don't know how to react to that.
I was listening to the radio before we came on, and I'm listening, and they were talking about Rich Paul calling the teams and everything. And then one of the guys was like, yeah, like Rich Paul, he'll be sitting front row next year watching Bronny play with Adele. And I'm like, Adele? And they're like, yeah. And, like, you know what I mean? And
they say those black guys like the big white butts.
Dude, I looked it up. He dates Adele.
That's crazy.
Like, what does he represent her?
I don't know. I gotta look. I'm gonna look. I got a couple. Like when we hang, I got like an hour and a half before I gotta go to work. I might have to look up the Adele Rich Paul. I mean, there's no way. I mean they could. I mean, I don't know if these guys do these agents cross over into music. These NBA guys.
I don't think they cross. I don't think they do. But I know Clutch is trying to get into football now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that.
Well, you think about it, like the old timers are kind of getting old now. You know, like the agents.
Yeah.
I mean, their companies are still strong, but like, you know, they're.
But it's funny. Remember when we were growing up, you could name the agents.
Yeah.
You could name, like, you know, obviously we knew Boris. I'll never forget. It was Bob Wolf. It was Bird's agent.
Wasn't there a Falk?
David Falk was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like now, I don't know any of these guys. Clutch is the only one I know.
Yeah, and that's just because of LeBron.
Boris, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Boris, obviously.
And what's the NFL guy? The fucking.
Well, back in the day, remember
Terrell Owens guy. The Steinbergs were big, but who's?
He's the one that gave everybody
Antonio
the
Brown.
That year. Oh God, I can picture him. Rosenhaus.
Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus. Yeah.
Remember because him and Bill were tight. Every free agent we signed in 21 was Drew Rosenhaus guy.
Oh man! All right, so you ready for douche of the week?
I can't wait for this one.
All right, so we're gonna circle back. You know what's funny? Why I say that? Because I actually watched Jen Psaki last night on like MSNBC. I'm like, this girl is still around. Oh my god, sitting next to Rachel Maddow. Like I almost vomited in my mouth watching that show. But my douche of the week has to do with last night, and it's Jill Biden. For many reasons, but if anyone knows his health, his mental acuity, his abilities, it would be her. Not because she's a doctor, because she's not. I mean, she has a doctorate, but she's not a doctor, which people love. They always call her Dr. Jill Biden. It's like, oh, please. But she let him go out there. And then not to make it worse, she had to escort him off stage. And then they go to do this fucking after party. And she's like telling him like how good he did in front of this audience. And you know the audience is like just, you know, they're obviously so pro-Biden, it's ridiculous. But, you know, and any after party, obviously you get cheered even if you lose something. But I think she's number one to blame for all of this. Like she's got to know. and now, she's obviously standing by her husband, but don't let him out there. Like this isn't just Jill douche of the week. This is all the Democrats that let this happen. You knew it was coming. I think they did it on purpose. But if anyone could tell Joe to step down, who cares? Come up with a COVID excuse. Don't do this. Don't do it. And she let him do it.
So she let him do it. It's more about her than him. Like, she loves being the first lady.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Did you see it? Like, even Democrats on Twitter were blasting this. She held his hand, she looked at him, and she goes, "Joe, you did so good. You answered all the questions."
Right.
Like he's 5.
Right.
And like, he had no reaction to her. And to bring it up in front of that audience, like, there must have been 90% of that audience, like, rolling their eyes, shaking their head, like, "Jill, come on."
Right.
Like, we all saw it.
Right.
Like, you can still support him. I mean, some people still want him to run. I get it. But, like, no one.
They only want him to run because they don't want Trump to win. Like, they're just so anti-Trump. That's it.
They would, if it were the only person that couldn't beat Trump would be Hillary, because everybody hates her.
I don't think Gavin Newsom could beat Trump.
I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's the never Trump people. But,
yeah, but that's I mean.
But like I said it to you, like 5 minutes into that debate, like, I don't know what she was watching, but I was like, someone should be charged with cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a disaster.
He's I just feel that she's the one that could put a stop to this. She's the one that can get in his ear.
She could.
And she's letting it go on. And that's probably, like you just said, it's for her own ego. It's her own ego. It's her own.
That's why she doesn't get him out of there. And that's why she doesn't correct people that call her Dr. Jill. Like, she loves that. And that's why she's letting him do it. Because she was the one. I mean, did you see highlights of the after party?
Yeah.
She was the one with the mic.
Yep.
She was the one running around.
Right.
It's all about her. She doesn't care about him. He'll be dead in 3 years.
Yeah.
And
That's giving him.
I know. Everybody that's listening, I'm not rooting for that. It's just, he just is not healthy.
No, he won't make 86.
No, he can't. He can't. But Liz, you know what's funny? So Liz grew up in a that's my wife for anybody listening, grew up in a family of Democrats. And
that had to be a rough childhood.
her mom's
I don't know. When I was a kid, I didn't even think about this shit. I wasn't persuaded. I mean, it was a different world back then.
No, I know. But we also grew up in a time of, like, Reagan. There was no wars.
Yeah, I told everyone,
you know
my first vote I ever placed was for Clinton.
I voted for H. Ross Perot.
I couldn't do for that guy.
No, but like, the thing is like, even Liz was sitting there, like, in the first 3 minutes, Liz was looking at it and she was like, "Get him off stage.
Right.
Get him off stage. This isn't fair. Like, this is wrong. Why are we doing this to this guy?" And like, her mom, who will never vote for a Republican in her life, was like telling Liz, like, "This is so bad."
Yeah.
Like, if lifelong diehard Democrats are saying this is bad, how can anyone in his inner circle think this is okay?
Right. Oh my God. I don't know. That's my douche. What a crazy night it was last night. Fucking, it's just what, it's almost like I do this show weekly, and it's something, like I always say, something always breaks the day after I do a show. So something's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't fucking know.
Absolutely.
Somebody just texted me that Biden. I can't see it, but all I saw is Biden's at some North Carolina rally. Holy shit! So he must be.
I saw that.
Tripping over himself right now.
I got a headline like that too.
Yeah.
I will say that. I will say this. One thing I do love about the internet is, I think, like, 5 minutes after the debate ended, the memes were already up.
Oh yeah. Internet is king.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing I'll always love about social media.
Yeah.
The memes were coming in as the debate was
Yeah.
going on.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking hilarious.
Well, like I had like a text thread with you, with some other friends, and then I'm on Twitter and I'm talking to Nicole and Braden, and my Facebook I'm responding to. I'm like, whoa, this is like, I just missed 10 minutes of the thing, but again, it didn't fucking matter on both sides. On both sides,
yeah.
They're just regurgitating shit, and
it was. But I will say this: line of the night. I don't know what he just said.
Yeah,
I don't think he knows what he just
said. And then he just screams back later in the thing like you're a loser and I don't know, like this is sad.
Yeah.
This is sad. But it's 4 more years of this and then we should be out of the woods. I just hope it's with a Republican in 4 years. I mean, I hope it's Trump this year obviously, but you know.
I always say what I said.
Yeah, I always say to the Democrats, dude, you should have if you didn't steal the election, and I know that's like awful to say, but there's a lot of fucking shit going on. We wouldn't be in this position. And like he'd be gone in 6 months, and then you guys could just move on with your merry way and bring your best to the table. But another thing too with the media, this is going to end it on. I can't stand this talking point that Trump is a threat to democracy. They all say it. They don't even explain it or define it. He was president for 4 years before. The other thing they say, too, is that he's already said he's going to be dictator day one. He wasn't a dictator 4 years when he was president. We have checks and balances. Like, stop with the... Like, there's like those... I wish I was more savvy with the computer, but like... I commend people that put all this shit together. But there's like, let's say, a minute and a half long reel of just every single liberal talking head going, he's a threat to democracy. He's a threat to democracy. He's a threat to democracy. Blah, blah. Democracy will die under Trump. Like, it just like goes on. It's all they all said that on CNN last night. You know, they all were in shock at how bad he did. And then they switched it. Like, all right, we got to go on the offensive against Trump now. Well, he's a threat to democracy. How? And then they'll tell you because of the Roe versus Wade got overturned. Well, it got overturned to the states. And that's been the point. And
Trump said that last night.
Right.
Trump said that last night. He even said they asked him about it, and he even said, "I think the Supreme Court did the right thing," and he put it in the hands of the state. All he said.
Yeah.
He didn't say one bad thing about it. He
No.
just said, "I believe that the state should have the right."
Yeah.
I believe that. Don't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's
and we live in blue states.
Right. We sure do.
By the way, when you texted me that last night, what red state can we go to? Get jobs, do our podcast. We can even do it together. We'll just combine the shows. Just as long as we live in a red state.
Yeah, I know. Not gonna happen until I retire, probably. But
no, me either.
Oh shit, we didn't talk about the Red Sox real quick. Are they buyers, sellers? Are they standing pat? Do they keep it up? Do they make the wild card? Are we starting to get healthier? Real quick. You know what? If you come down at the end of July, we'll do a show, just a Sox show. But Before we go, what's your feel?
I think Cora putting it out there last week was a great thing, saying let's get greedy, let's not settle for the wild card. I think to be completely confusing, I think they're going to buy and sell, and then I think
they're going to shed some contracts and try to trade in for sure.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, why would you keep Tyler O'Neill?
Right.
You have young kids in the outfield coming up. Like you just like, not to get into detail, but you have enough young kids that are the future. If you can get a reliever for them, you do it.
Right.
Now, I think they will add, but if it comes down to it and they add some middle reliever with like a 4 ERA, I just but at the same time,
Larry Anderson,
the young kids are the young kids are playing. Abreu's good, Rafael is good. Bayo sucks, but
he's been bad. But
he's been bad. He's been bad. He had a lot of pressure, but
he's still young.
He'll get it. I mean, he better be better. He's fucking they gave him a
paid
$50
for
million contract.
Yep.
Yeah, but I will say this. I think they stay in the race. I don't know if maybe they lose a game or two, at the end that might hurt them, but I think it's going to be interesting. I think there'll be exciting baseball in September, and I just hope to God they do enough to keep Cora. But I have this awful, awful picture in my mind of Cora in a Dodger uniform.
Yeah, well, they're buying everybody, so it's been fun watching the Yankees get crushed
Well, that's what
lately,
I'm
though. It's been fun
By the
watching the
way,
Yankees get crushed.
Did you see it? I think I sent you the stats. Ever since the Verdugo homer
Oh yeah, he's been
and
awful.
running around the bases
Yep.
yelling, they have the worst record in baseball.
Yeah,
He's hitting 114.
yeah.
And the Red Sox have the
And
best
now,
record in baseball.
and now they're dealing with injuries. So, ha.
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
Yeah,
Thank you
we're
so
gonna come
much.
down. We're probably coming down the end of July.
All right, let me
gonna-
know, and I'll
will.
I'll let you know what's going on that weekend. I've been off Sundays, so it depends. If it's a busy Sunday, I got to work, but we can always do something in studio or
We'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
All right, my man.
We'll come down anyways. We might do Friday through Sunday, so we'll see.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good, my man. Sox tonight.
right,
Who are the
bro.
Sox playing? They got San Diego.
The San Diego
Oh,
Padres.
no Tatis.
But Bogarts is hurt. Is that
Yeah,
what I
Tatis
read?
is hurt too. Bogarts has been out, hasn't he?
Does he get a video?
Oh, video tribute.
Yeah.
Oh, who knows? Boston's famous for that shit, probably.
He won two World Series here.
Yeah, no, sure.
The second one, he was probably our best player.
Yeah, sure. Throw it up on the jumbotron.
We always do.
All right, brother. Love you. I'll talk to you
All right,
soon,
bro.
my friend. See you.
All right, love you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Bye.